Dwarves need no armor.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is eSportsMonies, ESM, Mac10, whatever you want to call me, and welcome to another video. So this is not a Dota video. Next Dota video will most likely be a Bloodseeker guide that I've been planning out for the last few days, and due to the most recent patch, it'll even be a bit better than before because of the gold change. What today's video is about Karnage Chronicles, which you can see on this way, always mess up this way, is the Steam store page for Karnage Chronicles. I will write a review for it shortly. The game is a 3D VR RPG, so let's see if I can open that up. So you can kind of see a little bit of what the screenshots look, what the graphics would look like. Pretty sure that's like a mid to late game boss. It looks kind of like an orc out of World of Warcraft, actually. You can block things with your shield. You can stab with the sword, but please stay tuned if you're wondering like why I'm like hyping this up, because like there's a story to go along with this. So anyway, so I saw this game and thought it was interesting. They had Vive support, and I have an Oculus, but if you have an Oculus, you can play Vive games with it, not the other way around. The control scheme's just weird. And they came out with Oculus native controls, and so I spent I think I spent like 2 hours playing the game with Vive controls, using my Oculus controls in Vive mode essentially, which was really awkward, but it was still pretty fun. And it's 25 bucks on Steam. Whatever, so it was pretty cool, and I get to a point where I see them come out with a beta for the Oculus Rift, and I can't get it to work. And then like a few days ago, actually, no, I think it's like a week ago now, maybe like 10 days ago, they officially ended that beta and were just like, we're completely confident and comfortable with this. The game works with the Oculus now and works well. And the control scheme was very different from the Vive, and a little bit of the angles, like a little bit of everything was better if you were an Oculus person that had been playing on Vive before. So going through it, I think the 94% of the 17 reviews in the last 30 days are positive. 87% of the 48 user reviews of this game are positive. The game it's pretty fun. It's kind of a dungeon crawler. There are upgradable weapons. I'm playing it almost like in a Diablo-esque sense, where I'm going back and playing through levels that I've already beaten to farm more loot. But it's really, I've enjoyed my experience with this game a lot. So this controller right here, this button at the front, let me see if you got it. This button right here was what it thought grip was during Oculus mode or during Vive mode, when it should be this side button right here. So like this side button you squeeze and that triggers a grip, and this is like the actual like shooting button, or like what you would, I don't know, some games use it to like hold an arrow when you fire a bow and arrow. And so that was what the grip button was, and I could feel it moving ever so slightly when I was squeezing it and using that while swinging a weapon, and it felt like it made me worry. It made me feel like this will wear out my Oculus controller really quickly. So that was my biggest concern, but just the general optimization. Moving around, another thing, I don't have room scale, so I just have like 2 sensors facing forward, and when my Rift is turned on, when I'm playing a game that's Vive only, it assumes I have room scale. So things will come up behind me, and I don't have a mechanic on my controller that will turn me around. So like in most VR games, pretty much everyone made for the Oculus, there will be a way for you to tilt the thumbstick or something along those lines to rearrange the angle that you're facing, which is really helpful, because I mean, like, I'm playing this like right here, y'all. Like I'm standing like right here and just move my chair back towards the door when I play VR games. So I'm pretty much standing only. I can do like really rudimentary room scale, but you get the idea. So a problem that made the game very difficult for me to play. And again, I've really enjoyed this game a lot. It's got 2 different classes, warrior and an archer. The archer gets a bow and 2 daggers. The warrior gets a crossbow and like a sword and shield. And it's great. If you're a guy that likes RPGs and you play VR, this is like one of the games I'm looking for. This is the sort of game that I will buy, and it will hold me over until the AAA games start flowing in. I think a lot of people are looking for that game that will just really sell them on the VR RPG style and do that up until we start seeing a steady stream of VR AAA titles. That being said, I'm not saying I won't stop playing this when AAA stuff comes out, but I feel like there's a lack of really quality content in VR right now, and this is really good content. This is really well made, and it feels very good. And they've even gone out of their way to create like a story for the game as well. So I mean, it's very interesting. But anyway, I'm just trying to say the game is good. And so I did all this. I had this problem. I spent like 2 or 3 hours one day trying to get it to work, and then gave up on it and came back 2 weeks later. And the day before yesterday, I spent like 2 or 3 hours working on it and couldn't get it to work with the Oculus controls. And then last night, I spent like 3 or 4 hours on my own tinkering with it, Googling everything under the sun, and couldn't get it to act like I had an Oculus rather than a Vive. And I made a post in the community forum and thought to myself, all right, I'm going to go to sleep, and then I'll wake up and I'll have like a response. And I get a message from one of the developers within like probably 20 or 30 minutes. One of the developers of the game, not a community manager, but a developer, has posted on my thread. This guy named Brakar. I think he's, I'm not sure. I assume he's a developer, not just a community manager. But anyway, so he's flagged as developer. So he started answering my questions, and I started giving him large amounts, like huge write-ups of like, these are all the things I've done, and he's like, I have no idea what could be going on. And he and I, and then alongside Daniel Mist, who is another developer on the game, jumped into the thread as well. And the three of us were talking back and forth on this forum, or on the Steam community forum, for about 2 hours. And these guys went way out of their way to make sure that my game would work. And by the time we were done, they had suggested something that I would have never in a million years thought to try. And my game worked. It worked perfectly. The game is it runs the way that I've always wanted it to. So again, new Dota video coming out soon, but I wanted to make this game to promote this game because I really enjoy it, and also to give a shout out to these people that helped me set it up, to really praise the developers for going out of their way to make sure that I could play it. You don't really get that everywhere. Even in the indie communities, you don't see people going that far out of their way to help you run their product after buying it. So again, shout out to the Karnage Chronicles people. If you're interested in Karnage Chronicles, I will put a link to Karnage Chronicles in this video description. And yeah, that's pretty much it. My review of the game is, it's awesome. It seems like the most developed of the the virtual reality RPGs, and it also seems to be it seems to have the most content. It's also not procedurally generated, so when you rerun areas, like everything's handcrafted. So like procedural generation's okay in some situations, but I think in general it's something you should be wary of, and this does not use procedural generation. It's just very straightforward combat. Also, based on the way the enemies look, I don't think that if their assets were like purchased or developed by someone else, they were modded significantly enough that they don't look like other people's assets. So like in a lot of VR RPGs, all the skeletons look the same because they were all bought off the Unreal store. But this game, like the goblins, I don't think I've seen the goblin enemies, which are like the main enemy. I'm not sure if I've seen them in other games. Not to mention the general voice. There's like voice narration, like you'll run into things where you like break things open that gives you lore. And though I'm not as interested in the lore as I am the gameplay when it comes to VR. It's a really nice touch. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you around. Hey y'all, eSportsMonies here, and here's my face. If you enjoyed that content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content from me. And if you want to support the channel further, you can check out the Amazon affiliate links in the video description to buy all of the computer hardware that I own and use on a regular basis. And there's also an Amazon Prime referral link, so if you do not have Amazon Prime and are considering getting it, you can use that link. It costs you no additional money and helps support the channel. So thanks a lot, and see y'all around.